Visual, intense, ultra-fast cuts, glitzy Dubai Marina skyline, neon supercars roaring down Sheikh Zayed Road, shifting suddenly to shaky smartphone footage of water cascading down concrete walls, cracked marble, and shattered glass on a high-rise balcony. Bass drop. Audio. Ticking clock sound effect underneath on November 24, 2025, a massive pressurized post-tension grease cap sheared off the exterior of a brand new 66-story ultra-luxury megatower in Dubai Marina. It screamed through the desert air and smashed directly onto the pool deck below. Pure luck prevented a mass casualty event. Nobody was sitting where it impacted. But in a billion-dollar tower, safety shouldn't depend on luck. Text on screen, the 1 billion facade. This wasn't just any building. This was the Aston Martin Residences Dubai, the world's first residential skyscraper branded by the iconic British automaker. Units here sold for staggering millions. The promise? A flawless oasis of ultra-luxury living, a private superyacht marina, and a lifestyle reserved for the global elite. But within months of handovers, the illusion shattered. Audio. Drastics Kabul News, soundbite swell as multi-millionaire owners moved in. They didn't find perfection. They found structural nightmares, deep concrete spalling, exposed, rusting rebar, shattered balcony glass, and an absolute worst-case scenario, a marine seawall buckling under the weight of the Persian Gulf. Now, just 2 years post-opening, this architectural titan is swallowed by explosive, multi-million-dollar lawsuits. The damage is spreading fast. Built on a prime $125 million parcel of reclaimed waterfront land, originally known as the Epic 2 site, the project was financed by a billionaire South American supermarket dynasty looking to dominate UAE real estate. They paired with Aston Martin to sell the ultimate dream: 391 elite units, a $59 million triplex penthouse, and a rooftop helipad. Pre-sales cleared 90% instantly, generating over $100 million in weeks. But look at the contracts. Aston Martin only sold their logo. The actual construction was outsourced to a web of local contractors. Now, the brand is on the brochure, but the structural catastrophe belongs to the buyers. Visual. Archival time lapse. The rapid, dizzying ascent of the tower rising above Dubai Marina. Blueprints flash across the screen highlighting the post-tension structural system. High-contrast text overlays. Emergency turnover report. Audio. Low electronic hum. Drilling sounds distant. How does a $1 billion luxury icon begin to fail from the inside out in less than 24 months? To understand the catastrophe, you have to look at the engineering timeline. And the moment the developers handed the keys to the owners in March 2025, control of the tower's homeowner association officially transferred from the developer to the buyers. This is standard under Dubai real estate law. But what happened next was unprecedented. The newly formed board immediately hired Epic Forensics and Engineering to conduct an independent property assessment. They weren't looking for minor scuffs. They ordered an architectural autopsy. What the engineers uncovered shocked the entire Dubai market. Text on screen, the autopsy report. The engineering report documented critical structural failures embedded in the tower from day one, structural concrete cracking, unsealed gaps in the building envelope, and severe post-tension deficiencies. The defects bled into nearly every vital system: masonry, waterproofing, MEP, mechanical, electrical, plumbing, and the building's high-speed elevators. The structural concrete flaws were classified as immediate life safety risks. At 66 stories high, engineers found balcony slabs visibly drooping, with chunks of concrete actively breaking away and falling to the ground. Audio. Whoosh to graphic diagram of post-tension tendons, but the true ticking time bomb was the post-tensioning system. In high-rise engineering, steel tendons are threaded through concrete slabs and pulled under immense tension to give the tower its structural integrity. In Dubai's brutal environment, this design choice faces a lethal enemy: hyper-saline coastal air and extreme desert heat expansion. The report revealed that protective grease caps had detached, leaving these highly pressurized steel cables exposed to salt-laden moisture. When a post-tension tendon corrodes 300 feet above the marina, it doesn't just mean a maintenance bill. It means a structural failure clock that is rapidly running out of time. Visual. Dramatic satellite zoom, flashing from the Dubai Marina coastline down to the base of the tower, Red hazard lines trace the edge where the concrete meets the water. Text overlay, the corrosion zone. Audio, underwater sounds shifting into a harsh, metallic crunch. When you build a megastructure directly on the edge of the Arabian Gulf, water is your ultimate adversary. And at the Aston Martin residence Dubai, the water is winning. The independent forensic report exposed a shocking reality. The tower's luxury pools, high-end spas, and extensive water features were allegedly designed and installed improperly. The result? Active, systemic leaks sending chlorinated and saline water deep into the structural concrete, corroding the internal steel reinforcements and accelerating building-wide degradation. Text on screen. The sinking seawall, even worse, is the structural barrier keeping the Persian Gulf at bay. The marine seawall anchoring the tower's ultra-exclusive private yacht slips is already showing alarming signs of cracking, bowing, and advanced corrosion. Built on highly dynamic reclaimed land, the massive weight of the 66-story tower combined with improper waterproofing has created a localized engineering nightmare. The situation grew so severe that the condo association had to act immediately, spending massive sums of their own money to mitigate active life safety hazards before a court could even rule on liability. Audio, gavel strike, siren blast. In April 2026, the battle went nuclear. The association filed a massive construction defect lawsuit under local developer liability laws. The list of defendants reads like a directory of the region's elite construction industry. The developer entity: Coastal Construction, Revuelta Architecture, D. Simone Consulting Engineers, and Capform. The lawsuit alleges systemic, defective design across almost every single major high-rise system. For Dubai's ultra-luxury market, a public litigation of this scale is a reputational earthquake. It shatters the myth that a massive budget guarantees flawless execution, exposing the terrifying gap between speculative real estate renderings and actual structural engineering. Visual, INT, luxury penthouse, night, sleek, minimalist interior with floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking Dubai Marina. The camera slowly tracks across a cracked marble countertop, stopping on a high-end smartphone displaying an angry email thread. Text overlay, the cost of the illusion. Audio subdead. Tense music swells. Behind the corporate legal filings are the human casualties of this engineering disaster. Wealthy expats and international investors who poured their life savings into a branded dream, only to find themselves trapped in a multi-million-dollar nightmare. Take the case of an executive who purchased a 3-bedroom unit on the 45th floor. He bought into the tower based entirely on a glossy pre-construction brochure promising an uncompromised lifestyle. Today, he refuses to let his children step onto their private balcony after a block of unreinforced stucco shattered near their feet. His walls are scarred by deep cracks caused by structural heat expansion, and the constant sound of high-speed elevators grinding against misaligned shafts keeps his family awake at night. Text on screen. The insider pipeline, but the nightmare isn't just physical. It's deeply financial. In February 2026, 2 months before the construction lawsuit, the association leveled a second, explosive lawsuit against the developer, G&G Business Developments. This suit targets a staggering $5 million in damages for what attorneys describe as systematic, corporate self-dealing. The legal complaint reveals that while the developer initially controlled the condo board during construction, they allegedly funneled millions of dollars of the owner's maintenance funds directly into companies they owned or operated. Audio, paper rustling effect, cash radar chime. The financial breakdown is staggering. The developer-controlled board allegedly forced the association to pay $70,000 in monthly rent for a building management office located inside a condo unit owned by the developer, even though a free, state-of-the-art office space sat vacant on the ground floor. A luxury concierge vendor billed over $34,000 every single month with documentation so thin that auditors couldn't prove any actual work was ever performed. A security contract worth $800,000 was awarded without a single competitive bid to an insider company with zero industry track record. Text on screen. The fairy tale. The ultimate betrayal, however, was the amenities. Buyers paid massive premiums for an exclusive beach club partnership with the ultra-luxury Ritz-Carlton Key Biscayne Resort. When the newly elected owner board finally reached out to the resort to coordinate logistics, hotel management delivered a devastating blow. They explicitly called the developer's promised luxury beach club alliance a fairy tale. It didn't exist. It had never existed. The hallmark selling point used to justify tens of millions of dollars in real estate transactions was nothing more than high-end marketing fiction. Visual. Fast-mounting montage, extreme close-up on structural cracks expanding, shifting to wide, sweeping drone shots of the Dubai skyline gleaming in the blinding desert sun. YouTube's subscribe button animations flash on screen. Audio. Pulsing. Cynical beat accelerates. The developer has aggressively pushed back, claiming the tower was built to premium standards by top-tier professionals. They argue the lawsuits are an exaggerated attempt by the new board to deflect blame for its own management decisions. The general contractor says they are reviewing the claims and will defend their long record of delivering major regional projects. But these individual denials miss the terrifying, systemic reality of the modern luxury high-rise boom. Text on screen. The broken system, in massive real estate hubs built on hyperspeed and speculative pre-sales, construction defect litigation has become an expected cost of doing business. The blueprint of the system is entirely broken. The pre-sale. Buyers commit millions based on seductive renderings, luxury brand names, and unverified amenity promises, the blind spot. The developer controls the building's governance and cash flow during the critical construction phase, keeping buyers completely in the dark. The handover. The city issues occupancy permits, allowing buyers to move in while severe. Structural defects remain hidden deep beneath the high-end finishes. By the time the owners discover the truth, the developer has already collected the pre-construction profits and successfully insulated the luxury brand partner from any legal liability. The individual buyers are left holding the bill for a crumbling asset. Audio. Dramatic drum. Hit to Aston Martin Residences Dubai was marketed as the absolute pinnacle of elite, branded engineering. Instead, it has become an iconic case study in the staggering distance between what gets sold on a brochure and what actually gets built in the sand. Subscribe to stay on top of this story. Click the video on screen right now for another deep dive into a mega project catastrophe